Hi, my amazing planner friends. It's Jess from My Magical Planner, and today I'm going to be setting up my monthly goals in my Makselife Companion Notebook. This is going to be for January, so it's the first month of the year. We're taking those annual goals that we just set up, and we're going to break them down into focuses for this month that'll lead us down the path that we want to go down. So I have all of my Makselife markers here. I'm just going to do a really simple setup this month because time-wise, I feel really behind, honestly, because it is the 3rd of January already and I haven't set these up. So let's go about this. First, we're going to start with personal. And I'm just going to make a little swatch up here at the top with my Makselife marker, and then I'm going to make a couple of bullet points down the side. We're going to refer back to our annual goals here. Now, if you want to see me setting these all up, I will link that up above for you guys. So essentially, we're working on becoming more confident and creative this year. And I have a couple of goals in here. I'm just going to touch on them briefly. Complete at least 6 creative projects, establish work-free evenings and weekends, and creating a wardrobe that inspires confidence and developing a self-care routine. To guide myself along that, I do have a focus in mind, which is creating space. So to go with that, to create space, the first thing I want to do is brainstorm creative projects. And kind of a sub thing under that is going to be scheduling time to work on that. So I'm going to say schedule time each week. So I feel like that has me moving in the right direction for my first goal. For my second goal, I am going to identify, start, and end times for work, which is essentially YouTube. And that should get me a good idea of how much I'm spending at work and how much time I'm spending on YouTube, as well as giving me a better schedule to work around by giving myself a start and an end time. I'm not sure what that's going to be quite yet. I need to brainstorm a little bit around it to really figure that out. Now, the last one has to do with outfits. I think I'm going to start with outfits opposed to like skincare or anything by saying I want to find examples of outfits I like. And I can make a Pinterest board. And to go along with that, I am going to declutter / replace. And I know this is kind of personal. Sorry guys for the TMI, but I'm going to say undergarments, because I'm going to work from the inside out is my thought. And if I have good structure underneath, that'll help everything just look better. So that's where I'm going to start with that. Okay, next we have fun and recreation. So I'm going to do the same thing where I'm just adding a little swatch here at the top to add, a little emphasis for that. And I think I again have 3 that I'm going to put down here. And the thought is to make them small enough steps that they're not overwhelming. So I'm going to have my focus as cultivating joy. So our first thing is to pick out and start a new book. Oh, I forgot to go over my yearly goals for this. Sorry, guys. My yearly goals are to establish guilt-free joy. So reclaim reading by reading at least 12 books and practice guilt-free fun with reflections and solo activities, which I don't think I put actual solo activities there. Anyhow, we're going to schedule one solo activity for fun. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. It might actually be going to the bookstore because I haven't done that in forever. It's harder to go to the bookstore these days, though. And with that, I need to do reflection after. And then for the third thing, I'm actually going to plan a family night. Because although it's not on my goals specifically, I feel like having a family night will help me to offset some of the time that I'm going to be taking back for myself by showing my family that I'm still spending time with them and not just completely ignoring them, if that makes sense. For work and learning, which is YouTube, essentially my goals here are to make my YouTube channel better by enhancing my editing skills, doing shorter videos, and I also want to improve things on Instagram. So with that in mind, I have just a couple here. Do I have 2 or do I have 3? I think I have 3. Always bad when you're just like, So for this one, I'm going to say foundation work. So by that, I mean we need to analyze. Oh gosh. You ever start to spell something and you're like, I think I know how to spell that. And then you start to spell it and you're like, maybe I don't. Oh, I was close. So I want to analyze data for posting times. And we're going to look at content length. Okay, there's an N that's supposed to be in there, isn't there? Content length and audience. So I need to know where I'm, like what kind of videos and how long and when I need to post those videos. I think getting all of that set up in the beginning is going to help me in the long run. So my posting days may be changing. I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and look at that. I'm going to double edit is what I'm going to call it. All videos. So what that means is I'm going to run through each video and I'm going to do my initial edit. And then I'm going to go through it a second time, which I hadn't really been doing prior to Vlogmas, to do a better job. Because sometimes when you're editing, you overlook things or don't notice them because you're so focused on fixing something else. So I may be taking all the ums out and miss another thing that happens, or I may be working on some other aspect and miss that I said the word so or a million times. And it gets really repetitive for people viewing it. If there are other things that you guys would like me to look at, feel free to put them in the comments. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Okay, so double edit, and then I am going to make a wish list. Oh, I need a fourth. Sorry. I just realized I don't have anything on here that's Instagram specific. Make a wish list of people slash companies I would like to work with. And our Instagram one is simply going to be to post at least 3 times a week. I think I'm just going to like focus on posting to make sure we get that under our belt. And then once I get the posting, we can figure out what type of post I need to start posting. Okay, for family and relationships. My goal here is mostly to deepen my relationship with my husband, to continue check-ins with my kids. I've been doing weekly check-ins with them, although it fell off the last couple months, where I just sit down with each of them and make sure, that I know everything that's going on, any scheduling stuff that I need to be aware of, how school going, how their friends are, things like that, that as their parent, it's good for me to know and keep that communication open. And also it helps me every month. I like to sit down and do a focus for each kid and make sure that we are following through on what they need. To give you an example, my daughter Emily, who's my youngest, she's 12, and she has high functioning autism and struggles a little bit in interactions with other people. So supporting her on going to Pokemon Club is really important. She's also struggling a little bit to get her schoolwork done. And so making sure that I'm checking in with her on a more regular basis. We need to probably do every couple of days on the schoolwork opposed to like a weekly check-in to make sure she's not falling behind, because she fell pretty far behind right before Christmas, and I just want to make sure that we're continuing to keep her up and also addressing any issues that are causing her to fall behind and things like that. All right, so for our focus for family, we're going to put communication. And I think I have 3 here. Oh, that's not the right color. That's the right color. I think 3 is the number that I like to have in categories. It just sounds right to me. So fewer, I'm like, am I doing enough? And more, I'm like, is it too much? But 3 in every category might be a lot. So we'll have to see. We'll evaluate at the end of this month how this goes. For communication, I need to hold a meeting on chores. So this is a big focus. I started it last year and we did pretty well, and then everybody fell off when the school year started. And part of my goals overall is to feel more supported at home by making sure my kids are doing their fair share. I mean, they're between the ages of 12 and 20. They're old enough to do a little bit around here, and making sure I'm holding them accountable for those things is really important. But the first step we have to have is, okay, we're going to sit down, we're going to have a meeting. This is how things are going to go. These are the changes we're making. And the biggest change is going to be adding in weekly check-ins with the kids and daily checkups where I am personally checking on what rooms they did, how well they did, what things they didn't do, and helping them in a loving way to do better, essentially. So if they do a bad job sweeping the floor, pointing out where they need to improve and asking them to do it again, and things like that, which is going to be hard for some of my kids in the beginning, but I've done it before I got sick, so I know we can do it, and I know that the results are going to be beneficial. It's just we got to get over that hump. So hold a meeting on chores, and I'm going to put down here institute chore check-ins. And then I need to schedule intentional time with my husband. And part of that is going to be one date this month where we go and we do something we wouldn't normally do. A lot of that has been on hold between his business, which is a startup, plus the fact that he has a normal job, and my health, so that when he has time, I'm exhausted. So we may need to rethink things a little bit. He has some flexibility in his schedule, both with his normal job and his other. So maybe instead of having an evening date, we have, breakfast or something, or I schedule it on a Sunday, or, I have to think a little outside the box here. But just because I have to think outside the box doesn't mean it's not doable. And the other one is the weekly overall check-ins. And the subcategory of that is to set up focuses for each family member. Okay, now for health and wellness. Do my little swatch. This one, I struggled with what to put here, but I think I'm going to put tracking, because overall everything's going to kind of fall under this category. So with this one, I'm adding a little bit, but mostly it's becoming more aware of things. I can't remember if I have 3 or 4 here, so we're going to put 3. But the first thing is with PT, which is physical therapy, that I started literally this week. So for that, I need to track and follow my instructions, which are super easy, at least at this point. I know they're going to get harder, but we start off small. The next thing is to track my steps and log food on my Fitness Pal. The last one is to track sleep, because I really want to get a good idea of where I am and whether or not there is a serious issue there with my level of energy, or if my level of energy is a combination of nutrition issues and not getting enough sleep, if that makes sense, or not getting enough of the right sleep. For spiritual and personal growth, this one should be pretty easy. I think there's only 2 that I'm going to do here. So for this one, I'm going to put reflection as my focus. And with that, I am going to brainstorm / journal guiding principles and pick 2 that resonate. And I feel like that's going to start me down the channel of developing 12 by the end of the year, which is the overall goal. The other goal is to explore different types of meditation. Pick one type of meditation to try. And I think what I'm going to try is, I have this new app called Balance, and I'm going to try doing their morning meditation with that. If I do that either after or before I do the PT stuff, I think it'll flow pretty well together. So that's my intent there. For financial stuff, we're going to focus on research, I think. Maybe research and setup. That would be more encompassing. So my overall goal here is to set up a good budgeting system for the year. It's my only goal. This one's a little bit simpler, although it's going to take more steps to get me there. So on this one, I've already done some of the research, but research and pick. I was trying to do it with a free app, and that wasn't really working. I think I need a desktop app that my husband can also communicate with so that it flows a little better. So I'm going to research and pick a software. And my sister does accounting, strangely enough. Like, we're totally the opposite when it comes to this stuff. Like, she's hyper focused on it, and I'm like, make it go away. I don't want to ever think about it. So we're going to pick software. I'm going to talk with her a little bit about it and see what she recommends for budgeting. And then the goal would be to have it set up by the end of the month. As far as physical environment, we're going to focus on simplifying. So this is going to be a real easy one per se. It's going to lead in a little bit with my chores here, but I'm going to say simplification. Give ourselves a couple of dots here. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to choose an area to declutter, and I haven't done that yet, so I'm just going to put choose area. I need to put a little bit more thought into which area, and I just haven't done that yet. It's felt so chaotic with the kids here for Christmas break. They go back to school on Monday, and I figure I will have time to sit down and figure that out, and then I can add in what area we're going to do. You know what, let's just do craft area. Thinking about it. It's a smaller area, and I think that's what I need. I need an easy win for there. And then we're testing the new cleaning schedule, but with that, we're going to implement daily cleaning routine. This is for me, and I already have a little bit of one in that, you know, I get up and either before or after I do like PT, I make my bed, I pick up my room, I start a load of laundry, I start the dishwasher just to get us rolling in the right direction. And then I'll come and do my planner stuff if I have time and that kind of thing, which we're going to make time this year, make sure it all happens. But that's the first thing that we're going to try and do. And we need to do weekly check-ins on that. The last one here is going to be research. This is for my outsourcing. My goal is to outsource one thing every quarter. And this month, so we have squirrels in the attic again. We get rid of them and they come back, they find a new way in. And I think we just need somebody professional to come out, and there's probably something they can do that we're not thinking of. So we need professional squirrel removers. I don't know if that's really a job, but I'm going to put squirrel. It totally freaks me out, to be honest, because I can hear them up there and it just, yeah, I think it's only one, maybe two. Either way, they should not be in my attic. Now that I have all of my monthly goals set, let me show you how I'm breaking those down for this week. So I've gone through and I've made all the tasks. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing this week. Normally I'd be breaking this down with you, but for the length of this video, we're going to do it this way. Over here, I just put a quote that I thought was inspirational to remind me that we're starting anew, which is the magic in new beginnings is truly the most powerful of them all. I don't know the author, but I really love the quote. So over here in each area, I have personal. So to support everything that I'm doing there, I have brainstorm creative project. I pretty much know what I'm going to do, but I want to explore my options and make sure. I think I'm going to do the the workbook that I got myself for Christmas on learning to write calligraphy and work on that process, but I want to make sure that's what I want to do. And then I have start and end time for work. This is going to be we're going to try it out. I'm going to set some times and we're going to see how I do and whether or not I need to adjust it, if I'm able to get done what I want to get done in those time periods, and if it helps me use my time more efficiently. Then I have the start the outfit board. This one is an easy something I can do in the evenings, just looking at Pinterest and picking outfits that I like to support that endeavor. And to go along with that, I have declutter undergarments. And then in fun and recreation, to support everything there, I have start a new book. And to go along with that, I have set aside 1 hour daily to read. That may be an hour in the evening to support other things, or it could be in the morning. It just depends. I'm going to try out some different things. And then for my outing this week, I'm going to go to a coffee shop. It's close, it's easy. I can set myself a time limit of I'm going to go there for half an hour or something, or maybe I go for an hour and I read my book there, or at least try to. Something along those lines. And then for work and learning, my big push this week is to go through all of my data from last year and analyze what it's telling me so that I can adjust things accordingly and kind of make an educated guess on posting day and times. So know that that might be changing. You might want to hit your little bell icon so that you're told when I start posting. That way, if it changes, you know. Sorry, people are texting me. And the other thing I have here is post on Instagram 3 times. I gave myself 3 dots with a dot marker so that I can check those off once I've done them. I wanted to do more, but I think we're going to start out slow. And if I do more, that's fine. For family and the relationship, I have a meeting about the chores with my family so that we're starting at a place where everybody knows where we're going. Set chores and daily check-ins. I'll do that tomorrow. Schedule time with Jared. I'm gonna do, so we're gonna have scheduled time during the week as well as that monthly date. So I'm gonna have that and then decide on our January date, which may in fact be, I think he has a work trip coming up and I might just go with him on his work trip, and that might count as our date this month. I have to check in with him on that. And then for health and wellness, I have do PT exercises daily, track step count. My Apple Watch is a great help for that. Walk 10 minutes on the treadmill. That goes with my PT. It's something they've suggested I do. And then track my sleep and do a food log. I'm doing most of the tracking for this in an app called MyFitnessPal. I just have the free version, but it's a really easy way to log my food. And it also logs my exercise and movement along with it, so I can really see how all that's coming together. I don't think they have a sleep tracker, but I could be wrong on that, but that's something that's easy to track elsewhere. For spiritual and personal growth, we're going to meditate 3 days and find one guiding principle. So I'm just going to look through lists and things and see what guiding principles are out there. I'm sure one will resonate with me, and I'm going to write it down and have a log started of that. And then as a bonus, I'm going to, like if I have time, make a list of forms of meditation to try so I have a list to go off of. For financial, I just have research, budget software, and once I find one that I like, make sure that I'm coordinating with my husband and see how he feels about that software. Then for physical environment, we have the start the chores, which goes with our family as well. Daily chore checks. So to kind of track this a little better for me, what I've done is, since I don't use this calendar very much, what I decided to do, and I started this last year where I was using it for chores, I'm just tweaking it this month to see if this works. Over here I have all of the like monthly things that I need to do around the house, and then I have like the family meetings and weekly reviews here, as well as on Saturdays we're going to do a family tidy, and I have on here also when I need to put the new chores up and the weekly reset. This is for me. And then down here, I'm going to write down who has what chores for the week. And then I have 4 kids, so I'm going to mark off each day that I've checked in on their chores, so I have accountability for myself. So there's that. And then we have clean, organized crafts. It's like one cabinet down in my kitchen, so super easy. And find 3 services to remove the stupid squirrel in my attic. This week is more about research and maybe me posting on Facebook and a community group going, who do you recommend for this type of thing? Or doing some Google searches, that kind of thing. So I feel like it's not going to be overwhelming. And that is the action plan for this week. Next week, we'll be checking in on how I did on this. We'll do our reflections, and then we'll set new goals for the coming week. So that's everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. I'm not an expert on all of this. I'm just a mom learning as I go. I really enjoy this system, and I try to take in as much information as I can on it, but it definitely doesn't make me an expert. So anyhow, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button over there. And until next time, I'll see you real soon.